Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is now in session. We're in session with our special review docket set on today's date of July 28th of 2022 in County Court at Law number 2. First case that we're calling is cause number 331892. That case is styled the State of Texas versus Carl Wayne Blaylock. Mr. Blaylock is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Blaylock, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Blaylock, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Mr. Blaylock, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Blaylock?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Blaylock, you're here represented by your attorney, who is also appearing via Zoom, Mr. John West. Mr. West, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
And the state is represented in this case by attorney Tommy Coleman, who is also appearing via Zoom. Mr. Coleman, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor.
Okay. And I guess sitting second here to Mr. Coleman is attorney Lamar Johnson. Attorney Johnson, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Now, Mr. West, do you waive a record in Mr. Blaylock's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Blaylock, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about February 1st of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing. Mr. Blaylock, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Blaylock, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, Mr. Blaylock, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blaylock, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, CB, that are on a line next to a box that is checked guilty. Mr. Blaylock, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Mr. Blaylock, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blaylock, I have another document before me. This document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. And at the bottom of this document, above the line that is titled Defendant, there's also a signature. Did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
And at the top of this same document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blaylock, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blaylock, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. West, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blaylock, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir, I am.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states one.
Any objections, Mr. West?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. West, you have advised and counseled Mr. Blaylock. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Blaylock, your attorney, Mr. West, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Very much.
Mr. Blaylock, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given, and I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. States, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea in this case, we're recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 60 days, and we're asking that the court give the defendant credit for any time that he's legally entitled to.
Mr. Blaylock, the state is offering that you serve 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case, Mr. Blaylock, is $342. Mr. Blaylock, will you be able to pay the $342?
No, sir. I haven't worked in several months.
Okay, Mr. Blaylock, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. And it has your name on it. And Mr. Blaylock, let's see. This document was signed by Judge Posh on July 1st of 2022. Mr. Blaylock, is everything true and correct on this document regarding your income
Yes, sir.
and monthly expenses?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Blaylock, I will find that you are mentally competent. Well, I will find that you are indigent. And based on that finding of indigence, your court costs in this case will be waived. That simply means that you will not have to pay it, and it will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Mr. Blaylock, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in this case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Blaylock, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Blaylock, this will conclude your case. Please follow the bailiff, and you're excused, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You too.
Thank you. Ricardo Hernandez.
Hernandez.
Morning, sir.
Morning. Just hold on a minute, Mr. Hernandez. Okay, this is cause number 332-796. The case is style of state of Texas versus Ricardo Alonzo Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, will you please raise your right hand? Mr. Hernandez, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, you may put your hand down. Mr. Hernandez, you're represented in this case by your attorney, Attorney John West. Attorney West, do you waive a record in Mr. Hernandez's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that on or about June 7th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed to Class A. Yeah, the Class A Oh, yeah, habitation, okay. It states that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing. Mr. Hernandez, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge, Mr. Hernandez, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
No, sir. I just plead no contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Hold on, Mr. Hernandez. Let me do this here, Mr. West. I need to, we're gonna